Good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. I am just checking a little something here, checking some framing on this shot because what I see in my. There we go. That's not too bad. I think I can live with that. Cliff, you are always the first one to say good morning. So, right back at you, buddy. I do appreciate it. Craig is right in there, too. How are you, Craig? Craig, I am doing another Angler Quest podcast with Mr. Angler Quest today, and we will get the details on the Angler Quest owners tourney. It is, though, Saturday, July 27th at Linwood Beach Marina. Uncle Johnny, how you doing, buddy? Always a pleasure, my brother. Andrew. Matt, good morning. How are you? Thanks for joining me on this edition of Behind the Mic. Here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, as I am just about every Wednesday morning. And I'll tell you what, this studio is just cooking this morning. I'm going to be down to my underwear here before this gets over. I'm going to bring Art Lewis in, and he's going to get down to his underwear too. I heard him laugh as he was walking by the door. I wouldn't wish that on any of you, but it is warm here in the studio. And it makes me think that this summer, when it actually gets warm, see, Art, what do you think, Art? Should we do the show in our underwear today?
This is one of the hottest shows in the country, folks, right here.
I've already got sweat on my forehead. It's so warm in here this morning.
It is.
So how are you, Arthur?
I'm good. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing good.
Folks, do you realize how lucky we are to have a champion of the outdoor way of life like Mike Avery? Rare. Wonderful.
Oh, Art. But this guy's in the Broadcasting Hall of Fame, so there you go.
I'll work on it for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Kevin, good morning. How are you? Kevin will be one of our hosts for the Mike Avery Outdoors, and Art's going to play in it. Yep. The Mike Avery Outdoors charity golf outing coming up Monday, July 29th. I bring it up because it's not too early to register. Go to mucc.org/golf. And you can join us. Bruce, good morning. How are you? Rick says he had his elk application sent in and he purchased another bear point for Newberry. Good for you, Rick. I pretty much did the same because I'm going to be hunting with Johnny Bowler. I didn't put in for a point because I put in for the hunt. I put in for Newberry third season as my first choice and Newberry second season as my second choice. So, Johnny, there's no excuse. I will get a tag this year, I think. We'll see. We'll see. So, Johnny, I'm not going to pass out on camera this morning for you, as I scared you last week. Although, if I pass out this morning, it's legitimate and it's real because it's like a sauna. Or as you Youpers would say, a sauna. It's like a sauna this morning in the studio. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's like a sauna this morning. Here. Going to be hot here in the studio this morning, hey. But Johnny and all the other Youper buddies are going to come down and they're going to cool me down here in the studio. They're going to bring me some ice, eh? Captain Mark Pananzak, are you still down on the river? Or are you up on Saginaw Bay? Matt says, make sure to tell your grandson to tell his trap team about the Hemlock trap tourney in June. It's your first time hosting one. Very cool, Matt. I will do that. Rachel, good morning. How are you? Jim, how are things on the west side of the state? Always a pleasure to have you along with us, buddy. Another guy it's a pleasure to have along with us, Tim Binns. Tim, we gave one of your bars of soap to this guy right here, Uncle Johnny. I'm not going to ask him the details of how it went, but he said he liked the smell of it. Good morning. Last week is this week home afternoon. Morning, Matthew. How are you? I'm so jealous of you, Mark. My Angler Quest is sitting at the Apex plant with shrink wrap on it, waiting for new tubes. just like I was last year at this time. We'll see what happens. I don't even know what else to say about it. Mike, good morning. How are you? Mitchell, pleasure to have you along with us. Okay. Johnny said he loves the soap, Tim and Jen. Robert, good morning. Jerry, good morning. How are you? Okay, so let's talk about some things here. Steve, how are you? I am recording the show here for Mother's Day weekend. Can you believe it's Mother's Day weekend already? So make sure you make the appropriate plans. And also, can you believe that Memorial Weekend is 2 weeks away? I don't even know if I'll have the boat for Memorial Weekend. Okay, it is the month of May here in Michigan. Did you apply for your bear and elk applications? I did. I applied for a bull only tag. Although, I'm thinking about it. Gosh, it's getting hotter by the second in here. Can you see the sweat on my bald forehead? No, because I keep wiping it off. John, it's cooking in here. So I know you have no control over it, but man, it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Okay. I applied for a bull tag only, but thinking about it's like, why did I do that? Because honestly, I got no place for a bull elk mount. And it decreases my odds of getting a tag as well. So I don't know why I did that. Next year when I apply, I will apply for a cow tag. Good, Steve. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, how do you apply? You can use the Marty's rubbing it in. He says, "Hey, you got that pontoon ready?" Nope. It's shrink wrapped at the Apex plant in St. Louis, Michigan. But it's not like I'm jonesing or anything to get on the water. It's not like I shot my bird opening afternoon of the turkey season. It's not like I'm just sitting around twiddling my thumbs. They're doing what the people are working on it. It still tastes good. Yeah, the elk tastes good no matter whether it is a bull or a cow. I wouldn't have. Here two things. I wouldn't have room for a bull elk mount, and I don't really have room for a cow elk. But I could find it because I got friends who have freezers, and I have a freezer. We could find room for that cow elk, but I put in for a bull only, which was probably a mistake. The bear tag is not a mistake because I put in for Newberry, third season, first choice. How do you apply? You can use the DNR's app, or you can go to the website, michigan.gov/DNR. They make it actually very, very easy to apply. It will cost you $5. Now, people gripe about the fact that it costs you $5 to apply. Okay. How bad do you want to hunt? Are you willing to save that $5 and not have a chance at a bear or an elk tag? Is that $5 that important to you? Do you hate the DNR that much that you don't want to take $5 out of your wallet and apply for a Michigan bear or elk tag? Yep, you're right, Marty. There are projects. Good morning, Mad Jack. How are you? Steve says, good morning. How has the fishing been in Michigan? Been good. Been real good. Depending on what part of the state you're in, will mandate what you're fishing for. If you want silver fish, the old saying is if you want silver, go to the west side. If you want gold, go to the east side. That means if you want silver fish like trout and salmon, you go to the west side of the state. If you want gold like perch and walleye, you go to the east side. And there's a lot of truth in that. Mad Jack, I see you you liked my video on the Primal Harvester blind. That'll be available in July. I just happened to get my hands on one a little early to shoot a little video. I think I'm going to like that blind. Maybe more than the Wraith. Good morning, Dave. How are you? Tom checking in from the thumb. Brent, how are you, buddy? Always a pleasure. How are things in your world? Rick says 72 years and hobbling around. Hope to get out tomorrow morning for his turkey to get to his cabin to the north, Presque Isle County. Hey, Rick, nice to have you along with it. Butch, same thing. How are you? Appreciate you joining me on this edition of Behind the Mic here from the Outdoor Magazine radio studio on a Wednesday morning. It's hump day. It's hump day, also known as Wednesday. Hump day. Corey says you won't see him miss his opportunity to get a bear and elk tag. Mad Jack says he'll be getting that blind for sure. Hey, Jay. How are you? I see you signed up for the golf outing. Appreciate that. Look forward to meeting you in person. Jay says the boat is in. Lake trout are what is hot up here. And that's the northern. Are you off the river now, Jay, for the sturgeon guarding? Morning, Tommy. Congrats on your bird. It was a beautiful one. Nice job. Dave says it's just nice to be at the top side of the grass. Joel, good morning. Kirk, very cool story. Kirk just experienced his first walleye limit on the bay. Oh, excellent. Living here will be grand. Are you new to the area, Kirk? Dan, good morning. And thank you for sending me the picture, Tommy. And I will remind all of you, if you have a picture of your successful, and success doesn't happen to be a harvest. You don't have to catch fish or take a bird or whatever, or have a successful trip. But if you do have a picture and you want to share it with me, I'm more than happy to post it on my social media outlets. But the best way to do that is to send me an email to Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. That's Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com, so I can share the picture. If you send me a message in a social media messaging platform, I will respond and say, nice, congrats. Please send me an email to Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. For a couple of days, you'll be on the river. It will last until about the 1st of June. All right, Jay, appreciate that. What Jay did, he signed up for the Mike Avery Outdoors charity golf outing. He went to mucc.org/golf and signed up just like Johnny Craves did. Uncle Johnny did. Johnny is, we are golfing in the same foursome. And we're trying to get out and do some golf. I haven't golfed yet this summer. I haven't fished yet. It was spring. Life gets in the way. Things happen. What else? TikTok banned one of my videos. They said it violated community guideline. It was a community guideline violation. Let's think about this for a minute. TikTok, the place that has become famous for teenage girls with very few little clothes on, dancing seductively in front of a camera. They'll take all those, right? Or Jody K. She walked by the window. I posted the video that Steve Miller of Detroit Buck Club, not Steve Miller of Fly Like an Eagle, Steve Miller of Detroit Buck Club. Did you see the video I posted of him with his daughter Reagan in a blind turkey hunting and that bear walks up to him? How cool was that? That's the video I posted on TikTok, the TikTok banned. Crazy, isn't it? Greg says, yes, I moved here from Montana. Oh, you're the singing Santa. Excellent. I do remember you, Kirk. Yes, I do. Very good. Very good. Congrats on your first walleye limit. I hope it's the first of many. And you have a beautiful voice, Kirk. It was a cool video. TikTok didn't like it. It would have been very cool. That's one of the reasons I love bear hunting is the close encounters with bears, especially hunting ground level from a blind. They're curious. They'll come up and look in the blind. Craig says, oh, geez. Craig says Lance has an awesome video on worm fishing for walleyes. Lance Valentine is pulling crawlers for walleyes. No, he's still down in the river, isn't he? Worms for walleyes. I gotta give Lance some grief. Lance says I haven't pulled meat on Saginaw Bay in years. Got to find out more about that one. I actually probably will have Lance, Craig, on the show next week, and I'm sure that's one of the topics of discussion. So thank you for that. Yeah, having a bear come up. And the cool thing is his daughter Reagan's like so chill about it. Oh. Did you see my new Rapid River knife? I went up to Jay's, picked it up. Off the shelf. I think I'm going to start a collection of Rapid River knives. Who's coming up on the show? Nobody's asked me, so I'll tell you on my own. The first guest this week, and this is why I'm here this morning in the studio to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. Rich Krzan of Killer Food Plots. May is food plot planting season, so I'm going to check in with Rich probably one last time for this season as he gets so busy, but we'll get some tips and advice from him. Then Tom Campbell. Brent says he's due for another Rapid River knife. I think it's kind of like an addiction. I think you're kind of always due for another Rapid River knife. Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News checks in. Then in the second hour, Charlie Wiltsey. Charlie happens to be a Primal Pro staffer, but he's a hardcore hunter, a good guy, lives in northern Michigan, and he's talking about hunting the mosquito season for turkeys, the May season for turkeys. Then Lisa Jackson from the DNR. Lisa is in charge of the application process. So I want to talk with her about how to apply for a Michigan bear tag, how to apply for a Michigan elk tag. What are the odds of getting one? What is the process of drawing the winners? And is there a difference in the system between the bear and the elk tag? One of them is weighted. My understanding is weighted. One of them is not. What does that mean? She will let us know. Then Will Fitzpatrick of Michigan Moon answers this week's Ask Avery question. And it's about hunting dogs in the springtime in the woods. How can you keep them safe from ticks, basically? And in the third hour, we're talking with Nick DeShano of Offshore Tackle, as well as wild game chef extraordinaire, Dixie Dave Miner. I don't know if Dave will have one more turkey recipe or a fish recipe, but we will find out. Let me check in here with some comments. Brent says he's due for another Rapid River. RapidRiverKnifeWorks.com. Use the promo code Avery10, get 10% off. Dan checking in from Dayup. He said it's a beautiful day in Dayup. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. Always appreciate your input. Another guy I look forward to hearing from, Doug Ward, Captain Doug Ward. Good Wednesday morning to you, Doug. Are you still down on the Detroit River, or have you moved back up to the beautiful northern part of Saginaw Bay on your angler quest? Dave, good morning. How are you? So Tim says, did you see the DNR is tagging brown trout in the Rifle River to study spawning and migration? Yes. And if you find a tagged fish, if you catch a tagged fish, please let them know. Also, I got an email, mass email. It wasn't just to me, but I'm on the list from the feds. They were doing their lamprey. They were putting lampricide in some of the rivers in mid-Michigan, central Michigan, all the way up to Mount Pleasant, in fact. Ross, good morning, skinny. Buddy. How are you? 6 more pounds and he'll hit the 100-pound mark. It is so cool, Ross, that you've done this. I can't wait to see you in person. Also, Ross, I have not seen your name on the list of people who have signed up for the Mike Avery Outdoors charity golf outing, because I have that list and your name isn't on it. Anyway, Ross, congrats, buddy. Good for you. Change sucker dipping. Well, sucker dipping is pretty much over now. Brent says, great job, Ross. Mike, good morning. How are you? Kevin, I thought you were on here earlier. I thought I said good morning. If I didn't, Corey, good morning to you. How are you? Joe says, congrats, Ross. Bill, first time on the Detroit River, Real Fishing. Great time. You were fishing down there with Mark Panonzek of Real Fishing. Mark does a great job. He is back in Big Rapids and over to beautiful Au Gres on the AQ this weekend on the Angler Quest. Just a little bit jealous because my Angler Quest is at the plant on a trailer under shrink wrap, as it has been since March, waiting for new tubes. And there's nothing I can do about it. That's the frustrating part. Jim, good morning. How are you? Doug says, what a first Detroit River season. Just absolute ball of fun with great people, lots of fish, an incredible and different landscape. Different than Au Gres for sure. Tim, good morning. How are you? Mark says, Rifle River holds some nice trout. Okay, I told you who's coming up on the show this week. In about 45 seconds, I'm going to have to switch from my official social media microphone to my official broadcast microphone. It is not a gold microphone. Oh, geez, I don't have my headphones. Minor detail here. Oh, really? You're going to do me like that, John? 5, 4, 3. 2, 1. Wow. You got to do me like that, huh? John is a young guy with a young brain. I'm an old guy. John has to help me out once in a while. He doesn't have to help me in the studio yet. I'm not walking in with a walker yet. It could happen. There. Now I can hear. My last drink of coffee. I will be back tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. I hope you can join me then. In the meantime, feel free to stick around as I record the show. Have a good day, my friends. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan. This is a radio show. I deal with the outdoors. I talk about hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping and all things honorable, all things biologically necessary, all things part of the wildlife management process here in North America, part of our state's history, part of my family history, and just plain fun. And glad to have you along with us. How are you? How is your week? By the way, Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day. If you are a mom, God bless you. Moms are the glue that holds our families together. Happy Mother's Day to my wife, Denise, my mom, Peggy, my mother-in-law, Eddie, my daughter-in-law, Jess, my daughter, Jess. Happy Mother's Day to you. God bless you. Love you all. I'm checking your Mike. Yes, my email is Mike. No, it's Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I'm responding to I'm doing a live thing right now too, responding. I encourage you, and this was one of my topics for later, so I'll get to it right now. I encourage you, if you want to see your pictures on my social media outlets, and I love to share them, send me an email to Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. That's Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I get a lot of people who send me pictures and messages in social messaging platforms, and that's fine if I see them. I don't always see them, and it's very difficult these days because there have been some changes to Facebook for me to share those pictures directly. So the best way to get those pictures is to send me an email to Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. That's Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I got a very interesting video this week from Steve Miller of Detroit Buck Club. He was out turkey hunting with his daughter, Reagan, and they were sitting in a blind. And this is a very cool video. Sitting in a blind, and a black bear comes out of the woods. Now, they're turkey hunting, and Reagan looks like she's like 8-ish, maybe younger. They're turkey hunting. A bear comes out of the woods. Bears are very curious. I don't consider bears to be dangerous because I've been around a lot of them. I've never seen anything that would make me think they're dangerous, unless, of course, you get in a situation between a sow and cubs. But how often is that going to happen? This bear comes out of the woods. He sees the blind, and he or she wanders over to the blind and checks it out. Reagan, the daughter, is just sitting there very calm and very stoic. And dad's like, Reagan, look at that. How cool is that? There's a bear coming. So anyway, I posted. So Steve sent me that video via email, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. I posted it, got a lot of cool response. A lot of people enjoyed that, except for TikTok. Now, I even almost hate to even kind of bring up TikTok, right? Because what does it have to do with the outdoors? Well, there are a lot of good outdoor videos on TikTok. There's a lot of crap on TikTok too, but I have been toying around with it, experimenting with it, trying to reach as many people as I can. So I've been posting some outdoor related video on TikTok. TikTok didn't like that video for some reason. They said it violated their community guidelines. I thought, well, that's interesting. Of all the disgusting, vile stuff on TikTok that is fine and apparently encouraged, I post a wholesome video of a dad and his daughter in the outdoors sitting in a turkey blind, having a close encounter with a bear. I mean, it doesn't get much cooler than that, does it? TikTok says, no, we're not going to show that because it is a violation of our community guidelines. So I got poking around. I'm like, well, now I'm curious. I could take or leave TikTok. I might just say, the heck with it and be done with it. But now I'm curious. I'm thinking, well, what are your community guidelines? You will post vile, lewd, suggestive videos, but you won't post a video of a guy and his daughter turkey hunting? I could not find. I go to the page that says community guidelines. It says, well, we just have community guidelines. It doesn't spell them out. I don't know what it is. Isn't that interesting? Did you apply for your speaking of bear, did you apply yet for your Michigan bear tag? Did you apply yet for your Michigan elk tag? May is the time. May is the month to do that. I did. I applied for my Michigan bear tag, and I'll tell you right now what I did. I applied for the Newberry District, Schoolcraft County, 3rd season as my first choice. And I applied for that same hunt as my second choice. I also applied for a Michigan elk tag, knowing full well I'm not going to get it. But I did something kind of dumb after I'd done it, now that I'm locked into it. I did the same thing I've been doing for years, and I applied for a bull-only tag, which drastically decreases your odds of getting a tag, but also just purely pragmatic and from a logistic point of view, I thought, what would I do if I actually got that coveted bull elk tag? I don't have room for a bull elk mount. Those bull elk mounts are huge. My house, my basement where I have all my mounts, there's not room for another mount. What would I do with a bull elk mount? So that was probably dumb. And I think next year when I apply, I will actually use more common sense and I'll just apply for the cow tag. There's an awful lot of venison, and, elk is venison, awful lot of venison on a big cow elk. So you watch. If I was ever going to get a bull elk, if I was ever going to get an elk tag, this would be the year. Believe me, if I get it, I will welcome it. I will take it. What else is going on? Late season turkey hunting. I've been getting lots of pictures of successful mosquito season hunters. I say that in jest. I call the May season the mosquito season, but it is a very, very productive and very, very good time of year to be turkey hunting. Again, I love seeing your pictures. I love sharing them with others. Send me an email, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. If you have a picture or a video of you and a young person, a youth in the outdoors, again, send that to me with the hashtag Forward Fuels Traditions. I will put the tag on that, Forward Fuels Traditions, as well. And each month, the folks from Forward draw a winner from that to promote this whole tradition of kids in the outdoors. What else? The Mike Avery Outdoors charity golf outing plans are coming along very well. We are getting a good response to this. I appreciate that so very much. If you want to get involved, I'd like to see you. either as a golfer, a participant, and or a sponsor of the event. The money goes towards, the proceeds go towards MUCC's youth camp. What better charity could we get involved in than something to encourage kids to continue this outdoor lifestyle? If you want to get involved, the way to do that is to go to the website, mucc.org/golf, mucc.org/golf. There you can sign up to be a golfer and or a sponsor. And I would look forward to that. And I appreciate that very much. I posted also, speaking of online stuff, I posted video of the new Primal Harvester blind. Pretty excited about this one. I do most, probably 90% of my hunting from a ground blind, whether it's for turkeys, deer, or bear. I really like hunting from the ground level. I think it's safer. I think it's more comfortable. It allows you more movement. It hides your movement, keeps you out of the rain. I mean, there's so many positive elements of ground blind hunting. In the past, the only negative has been maybe the fact that you're closed in a little bit. You can't see as well, but these new ground blinds have see-through windows. One-way see-through. You can see out. The critters can't see in. The Harvester is very cool. I like the vertical windows. I like the fact it doesn't have a zipper on the door to get into the blind. If you've hunted from a blind, you know that's also a downside of it. It's quiet in the woods. You get in there, go zip to get yourself in and out. But the Harvester doesn't have a zipper. Very cool. Check out that video as well. My email address, one more time, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Love to have you check it out. Here's what's coming up. Here's who's coming up on this week's show after we take a quick break here in just a minute. Rich Krazan of Killer Food Plots. This is probably the last time, well, maybe, I will check in with Rich during this food plot planting season. He's getting real busy, but now is the time to rock. I want to get some great advice from Rich here coming up after the break. Then Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News, a preview of their latest issue, and they are already getting ready for the Woods and Water Outdoor Weekend. That's not until Labor Day. Can you believe Memorial Weekend's 2 weeks away? Oh, my goodness. In our second hour, Charlie Wiltsey talks about hunting for turkeys during this late season, this mosquito season. Lisa Jackson of the DNR, she is the person in charge of the bear and elk application process. We'll talk more about that. Then Will Fitzpatrick of Michigan Boone answers this week's Ask Avery question. And in our third hour, it's Nick DeShano of Offshore Tackle and wild game chef Dixie Dave Miner. That's coming up this week right here on Outdoor Magazine. All right, my friends, let me come back to some of these comments. Steve, I answered your question. They're actually on the mail, on air there. My email is Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Doug, thank you for bringing that up. Randy, Brad, Scott. All right. Again, I'm going to be back tonight at 7:00 for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. I'm going to end this behind the mic segment so I can get to work. Have a good day, my friends. I hope I will see you tonight on Wednesday Night Live.